Bom dia! Welcome back. And here I am by the beach walking along the seafront. Today is Saturday and it's a national holiday in Brazil. The holiday is Children's Day. Just like in other countries and in Brazil, you have Mother's Day and Father's Day. Here in Brazil, you also have a national holiday called Children's Day, and that's why there are a lot of people at the beach today. This little beach, which I pass along the way to the Rio Vermelho neighborhood, is normally almost completely empty, but today, because it's a holiday, Children's Day, and it's packed, and I guess a lot of parents have brought their children to the beach. And it's a beautiful day. And there you go. It's a beautiful day at the beach, and that above the beach there is the home of the one of Brazil's most famous authors and Bahia's most famous author, Jorge Amado. And one of these days I got to get up there and visit it. It's like a museum now. It's his home, and I believe it looks exactly like it did when he lived there. As I mentioned in a previous video, I have to leave my apartment. My idea is to move back to the small city of Santo Antonio, where my brother-in-law lives and where I was living before, about 4 hours from Salvador. Lived there for 4 months, just with the idea of saving money. It's significantly less expensive to live out there. And then after just 4 months, return to Salvador in March. So I'll be out there November, December, January, March. November, December, January, February, hello. And then move back to Salvador with more savings and rent another apartment here. But there's a little twist. My brother-in-law, Eliamar, he's so clever, he found an apartment for rent here in Salvador that is significantly cheaper than the one I'm renting here now. I went to see it yesterday and I fell in love with it. It's kind of unique. It's just a very small 2-bedroom apartment, but it's on 3 different levels. While the apartment itself is small, it has 2 verandas, like huge outdoor patio areas. And God, I loved it, and I love that it was on 3 different levels, so it gives the idea of being spacious, and lots and lots and lots of room for plants. And you know I love my plants, so I went and saw it yesterday. I told the landlord I was extremely interested, so I'm hoping, crossing my fingers and sending up good thoughts to the sea goddess Iemanjá that I get this apartment. You know, I imagine that if I liked it so much, maybe other people are also looking at it and liking it too. So who knows? If I get it, I get it. If I don't, then I'm going to go ahead with my plan to move to Santo Antonio for 4 months. But my landlady here in Salvador asked if I could stay in my apartment 1 more month. I was going to move out at the end of the month, but she asked, please stay 1 more month, because she's not quite ready to move back. She wants to move back at the beginning of December, so I said sure. So I'll be moving to if I don't get that apartment, I'll be moving back to Santo Antonio at the beginning of December. And my months there will be December, then will be December, January, February, March, and I'll move back here to Salvador at the beginning of April. So we'll see. I'll update you as soon as I know. Send good thoughts for getting this apartment in Salvador, but if it doesn't happen, I've learned to just take things day to day. So we'll see. And whatever happens, the important thing is that I am here in Bahia, Brazil, where I want to be. And I'm healthy, I'm happy, I'm content, and in spite of that little bout of bad luck that I had, which I talked about 2 or 3 episodes ago, all of those little problems are working themselves out. And so alegria na Bahia, only happiness in Bahia. And where we are right now, we're in the neighborhood of Rio Vermelho, one of my favorite neighborhoods in Salvador. This is a little, right here is a little fishing port, right in the heart of the city, in the middle of the city. And this is also where the annual festival of the Candomblé sea goddess Iemanjá takes place. A beautiful, beautiful ceremony. This little beach is packed with thousands and thousands of people making offerings, baskets of flowers to Iemanjá. It happens every year on February 2nd, and of course, I'll take you with me come February. Even if I'm living out in San Antonio, I'll be coming into Salvador for special occasions like that. So that's something to look forward to. As you can see, the fishing boats lined up against the seawall, because this is a little fishing port, I guess you'd call it, in the heart of the city. This was once, you know, a century or more ago, a separate village, distant from Salvador, but not anymore. It takes me 1 hour to walk here from my neighborhood, and if you continue in that direction, the city goes on and on and on for many miles. And as you can see, Rio Vermelho has a bohemian charm to it. This is a sculpture, or a statue, I guess, of that author I mentioned, Jorge Amado, and his wife, who lived in this neighborhood. And it has a nice, this neighborhood has a nice bohemian nightlife to it. Old colonial era buildings, 18th and 19th century buildings and homes. I especially like this yellow one at the corner. Yes, I one day wouldn't mind at all living in Rio Vermelho. As I said, it's about an hour walk to Baja, where I currently live, but that's okay. It's got great public transportation too. The whole city does, and you know, at night there's always Uber. Look at this, a classic beco. I guess that would be translated to an alleyway. And as you can see, it's covered with tables and people eating and lively, and it's one of the things I love about Brazil, the energy. And here are a couple of lovely old buildings in Rio Vermelho. They're both theaters. Look at the detail on the roof of that building. Both of these are theaters for live theater, and they are part of the charm of this neighborhood. Look at this sculpture of the mermaid goddess Iemanjá. Beautiful. Iemanjá always is holding a mirror. I hadn't noticed this sculpture before. I like it. Very appropriate for this neighborhood, because this neighborhood, as I mentioned, is where they have the festival of Iemanjá on February 2nd of every year. And then you can see a sign that has the name of the neighborhood, Rio Vermelho, which translates as Red River. I've come upon another charming praça with cafes and restaurants, people eating at tables in the fresh air. It's a beautiful day. You know, I'm a big advocate, as you know, of upping and moving abroad to a different country for a much lower cost of living and a more interesting life. But I do strongly recommend that you have a minimum of at least, let's say, $10,000 as an emergency fund. Now, when I moved back here, very risky. I think I arrived with about $500 and of course, you know, a steady monthly income in the form of Social Security. But that's because, you know, I've been living here and visiting here for over 20 years here in Salvador, and a total of 25 years in Brazil. So I speak the language. I have family here, my in-laws, who I consider my second family. But I don't think I would have moved here with only $500 if that wasn't the case. But as we saw when I had this little emergency of my bank card being compromised at the beginning of the month, and I was not able to withdraw funds, I felt a little panicky. Fortunately, I do have a small group of very close friends back in the United States, and one of them bailed me out, as he always does. You know who you are. But what I want to say is, please don't ever burn all your bridges. Now, I have been famous for burning bridges all throughout my life, but never burn all of them. Always have people in your life. I don't have any biological family. They're all gone. No one left. Obviously, at my age, a few days short of 70, parents are long gone. My one and only sibling died young. Never had any nieces and nephews. Never had any children myself. So, but I do have friends back in the United States who I consider family, and I have in-laws here in Brazil who I consider my second family. If I didn't have them, if I didn't have this small core group of people, I would feel far, far, far more vulnerable and insecure. So I hope if you do take that step of moving abroad, that you have at least a minimum of $10,000. More, obviously, the more the better. But at least have some backup money in a bank account, and have a few friends, or at least one close friend who you can count on to bail yourself out of an emergency. And it'll save you a lot of headache and give you a lot of peace of mind. This street I'm walking down is very charming. Definitely could live in this little neighborhood. This is also Rio Vermelho. So I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for joining me today on my daily long walk here in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil. Beijos. Ciao.